Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for June 17, 2023, the JBS Goes Public edition. We begin with that story from the Financial Times, which tells a frankly unbelievable story about the turnaround in bribery, corruption, culture, and leadership, and literally everything else from the world's largest meat packer, JBS, who at one point had the world's highest FCPA fine. And some 7 years later, they are now trading on the New York Stock Exchange, capping one of the most dramatic comebacks in recent business history. Clearly, it shows the power of what a compliance monitor can do with a company that really wants to right itself. The Department of Justice and the Brazilian authorities clearly found endemic corruption at JBS, and they levied one of the biggest penalties ever. And now that penalty is paid off for JBS. So kudos to JBS for going public. Next up from the Wall Street Journal. Aspiring CPAs are considering ditching grad school plans as states revamp laws about becoming a CPA. After the laws, such as those in Ohio, mean that prospective CPAs can bypass a 5th year of school and start their careers earlier. This is really a needed change and hopefully something that most states will take a look at. You don't need 5 years, including an MBA, to begin to sit down for your CPA license, because you still have to get that. So kudos to Ohio and the other states who have recognized what current undergrad degrees pack. And of course, there's still the CPA exam. Next up from Reuters. Although the current administration has deprioritized white-collar enforcement in many traditional areas, FCA, or False Claims Act, activities remains robust and indeed is poised for expansion. The executive branch has signaled it will pursue FCA cases in new areas, include what it calls illegal DEI, although there's nothing illegal about DEI, anti-Semitism on campus, transgender issues, and custom and tariffs compliance. It's unclear how transgender also is illegal, but once again, this is the Trump administration, so really no surprise there. But we will see the FCA probably in a series of new areas. It'll be interesting to see how the landscape shifts. Our final story comes to us from Bloomberg, which says that an IMF mission to Kenya in 2 weeks will assess the impact of corruption on public finances, with the findings expected to inform a new program which has been requested by the government. The findings of the corporate diagnostic will be shared with Kenyan authorities for their input before 2025, and once published, they will give its consent, or once they give it their consent, it will be published. This type of transparency is something that's very needed in you name the traditional hotspots of corruption in West Africa. And when the IMF gets involved, it's a pretty endemic and high level of corruption. So kudos for Kenya for putting this diagnostic in place, and we look forward to reporting the results on to you. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.